Hello, class. I'm Carrie Tang, and this is my mini defense on deadly profits. What are they good for? There was a lot of things I would like to change about my paper, like how it was organized. There were things I would have liked to have added, but due to space and time, it just wasn't feasible. But doing this research was something I truly enjoyed. While some field toxins, such as dioxin and Agent Orange, are a necessary evil, the use of Agent Orange should never be forgotten. Although Agent Orange had some positive effects, like the production of Agent Orange provided jobs, the defoliation made it easier to see enemies, it still can't be forgotten that Agent Orange poisoned people, as well as land. The chemicals in Agent Orange are still used today and found in our food chain. This debate is old, but it's still current, as chemicals with dangerous side effects are still used today or being produced as byproducts. Significance of the research question. Workers in the United States were harmed, Vietnam veterans were harmed, people of Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia were harmed. And by harm, that's from skin problems to cancer to diabetes, illnesses, and even premature death. Corporations like Dow and Monsanto profited immensely off of these government war contracts selling these tactical herbicides. For my research methodology, I used mixed research. I used qualitative research to collect, compare, and contrast and analyze written records such as court documents and newspaper articles, depositions, and I used quantitative research to gather statistics like numerical sets on what was going on with Monsanto and Dow. I used Forbes for that kind of information, and sometimes there's quantitative data in the newspaper articles and the court documents. Agent Orange was a tactical herbicide used in the Vietnam War that was contaminated with TCDD, which is highly toxic. Where it came from is debated. Some are saying that it was just accidentally contaminated, others are saying it was intentionally, and many are just saying we don't know. We don't know how it got there. Somehow Monsanto sold out before getting slapped hard with lawsuits from Roundup, which hit them the hardest. And they did have to pay out for some of the Agent Orange, but not nearly as much as what they got hit from Roundup. Workers of Dow and Monsanto received little attention for the damages they experienced, such as far as death, illness, and other complications. Southeast Asians are still fighting today, but there has been some progress. The government still denies accountability, just like Monsanto and Dow, but there's no disputing the fact that somehow this deadly, toxic TCDD was in Agent Orange. There have been some illnesses presumed to be caused by Agent Orange, such as bladder cancer, chronic B-cell leukemia, chloracne. Chloracne is extremely bad acne on the face. That's really wasn't explained too well from what I could tell, but it looked extremely painful, and I question whether it caused cancer. I'm not really sure. That I couldn't determine. Diabetes type 2, Hodgkin's disease, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, ischemic heart disease, hyperthyroidism, hypertension, prostate cancer. The list just goes on because dioxins attack the body, it attacks our systems. So simply put, TCDD in the Agent Orange, it attacks entire systems. It'll attack your dermal system, which is your skin. It can attack can attack you while you're developing, so like your organ development. If you're a child and you're still growing, those are your organs getting attacked. If you're in utero, in the womb still, that's your unborn child getting attacked. It attacks glands and hormones in the endocrine system. It attacks your immune system. It attacks your nervous system. It even attacks your ability to have children in the future. It attacks your reproductive system. So on a low estimate, it's estimated that 300,000 veterans have died from Agent Orange exposure. That's almost 5 times as many as the 58,000 who died in combat. And that's a low estimate. A high estimate is as many as 3 million have died due to Agent Orange exposure. There's really no way to know how many children of veterans have been affected or never were even born due to the dioxin exposure. Regardless of where this TCDD came from in the Agent Orange, it was there, and it's also produced as a byproduct. This is produced from burning incinerated waste. This is produced from basically it's released as a byproduct into the air, then it goes into the water, then it gets into the soil, and then it goes up the food chain. So the cow eats the contaminated grain, hay, and then we eat the cow, and it builds up in the fatty liver it builds up in the fat of the animal. And the higher up the food chain, the more it starts to build up. And it's just maddening. Once I started doing this research, I started to see that the government denies responsibility even though they knew it was dangerous. Dow and Monsanto denied responsibility even though it was clear they knew it was dangerous. Nobody wants to admit to knowing it was dangerous. So that makes me wonder, how safe are we really? And it doesn't hurt to ask that question. And with cancer rising and then all these toxins that are in our food, water, air, it just makes you wonder, why isn't anyone really doing the research to determine how bad is it? I couldn't find any data. If it's out there, I couldn't find it. I'm very curious. So, an interesting thing George W. Bush once said May 12, 2008, "I'll be long gone before some smart person ever figures out what happened inside this Oval Office." And I think there's a lot of truth to that. It's hard to figure out what's going on during the time period, and it seems like we depend on history to dig up the truth. And I think that's important to always look back and try to find the truth, because it affects the future, it affects what's going on now. And if something happened in the past, it could be still happening, it could happen in the future. I love history because I love always asking questions, getting answers, and then trying to see what's going on in today's times. I think that's one of the things that made this project so interesting. Everyone, I hope you had a great time, or at least found this interesting, and have a great night. I enjoyed this class with everyone. Thank you.